Hey church family, it's great to be able to speak to you. Obviously a slightly different family night this time. We are doing it online. Just thought we'd try something different in September. We'll be back together in the breakout space. But we really wanted everyone to hear what's been going on as we reflect on the last term, but also as we look forward to the future, some exciting things that are coming up for us. And so just to remind you, when we moved into this space, it's 2.5 years ago now. October was our official launch in 2022. So 2.5 years we've been in the Gilbourne Centre. And when we moved in, we said we wanted to be a blessing to the centre, but also to our town. When people come to the Gilbourne, come up into our space, we want them to encounter the presence of God, and also not just in our space, but as we go out from here, we want people to meet with God through the power of the Holy Spirit at work in us as His church in the town. And so I just wanted to just talk about a few things that we've really been grateful to God for over the last term. So one of the things that we had just a few weeks ago were the baptisms, and so we got to baptize Halwyn and Tom and Bradley, and just these great stories. If you heard Tom's story about this guy who's searching for the meaning of life and looking in all these different places, and he finds Jesus. And so it's just such a privilege to baptize him and see him as he continues his journey following Jesus. And same with Bradley as well. Ashley, well done, Ashley. You invited your friend along to church, and just such a privilege to hear a bit of Bradley's story and get to baptize him and see him join the church family and be part of what we're doing here. And we'd love to see more. So in July, we've got baptisms coming up. Let's be praying for more people who made that decision to follow Jesus, they would encounter Jesus, whether it's on a Sunday morning or whether it's in their bedrooms or in their workplaces, wherever it might be. Now, another thing that has been great, especially over the last month or so, people are responding to the gospel regularly over the last month or so. We've seen people responding in various ways, whether it's crossing the line of faith, saying, yeah, I want to follow Jesus, or whether it's wanting to find out more. We're really grateful for that. We don't want to take that for granted. But again, we want to pray. We want to come with an expectation as we meet on Sundays that God will continue to meet with people, whether you've been here for years and decades or whether people have come for the first time. Let's come expecting God to meet with us. Just some other highlights from this last term. So we had the Nations Sunday, our first Nations Sunday as Redeemer back in February, and it was great. So welcome. On that Sunday, we had a load of people, whether they'd heard about the Sunday or whether they just happened to come from different nations on that Sunday, celebrate together, eat together, hear different languages, pray together. We had a lady there or a new family from Nigeria and another single lady who turned up for the first time from Nigeria, and they got to hear Chika, who started the meeting for us, a Nigerian guy him and his lovely family have been with us for the last year, and he prayed out. He got to lead us, and they get to see their nation represented here in Worthing. It's such a privilege. And so just so you know, the plan going forward is that we'll do 2 of those a year. So we'll do one like a Worthing's focused Nations Sunday at the beginning of the year like we did, and then we'll do another celebration Sunday with a meal afterwards at the end of the year, kind of more linked in with what the Regions Beyond global offering and what's going on around the world, just so you kind of know when that next amazing lunch is that you want to definitely get into your diaries. And then something else over the last term, just to be excited about. We don't, by no means do we think it's all about numbers, and we don't base everything on that. But it's been great to see new people coming most weeks, to see more people joining us. Just since Christmas, just in this last term, we've gone from being 150 people, adults on a Sunday in the preach, to we've averaged 180 since January on a Sunday morning, which obviously provides challenges for us in how we make space. Like Easter Sunday was our biggest ever Sunday as Redeemer. We had 210 adults during the preach as Rodney spoke. And so we do need all sorts of things to help our Sundays run, and obviously the wider life of the church. One of those is a simple thing that you can do is just to move up in your seats on a Sunday. Just don't be afraid of sitting next to that person next to you, because it's full, especially when the kids are in, and we don't want new people to walk in and think, oh, there's no space for me here. We want people. So, and you know what you can do? You can even come to the front. Where I'm sitting with Rachel and my kids, come and sit next to us. We would love to have you near us. But yeah, that's one of the challenges. Another challenge is just kids' work. We're so grateful for Kirsty and Ulrika and Beth and Maddie and the teams that run our kids' work. But we need more people in there. because we're maxing out on the number of kids we can have. We need more people on the Connect team, so welcome people and connect people in. It's great having more people, but we don't want to just pay lip service to being a family on mission together. We do want to genuinely be a family. That means we want to work hard at welcoming guests and connecting them into what we're doing as a family. And the Connect team, Anna and Zoe, who head that up, and the rest of the teams do a fantastic job at doing that. And same with all the other, with everything else that's going on. It means we need more group leaders to run groups to help people connect in. There's all great, lovely problems to have, but it means everyone playing their part in what we're doing as a family together. That does mean working hard at connecting people in, working hard with what we do on a Sunday and what we do in the week, that we would be a genuine family together, a family that love one another, love to serve one another, love being together, and doing all of those things from the youngest right through to the oldest. And then lastly, just to remind you, we quickly forget things. And if you were here last Sunday when Colin Nichols spoke, it was a really great kind of summary of what we've been talking about over the last term. There's people who live cross-shaped lives. And so we had this series talking about we're called to die to ourselves, to lay our lives down and follow Jesus. Not something that is easy to do, not something that we like the sound of, but that's what we're called to. And just because we've done a series on it, we're not thinking we've ticked that box and we can move on. We want to be reminded that we're not just called to do whatever we want, but we're called to follow Jesus. And we're about to come into this series, or we've just started this series, in fact, in Acts, with the tagline, turning the world upside down. And we read at the end of the Gospels, there's these cowardly group of disciples who are following Jesus, and then Jesus is arrested and he's killed, and they scatter and they deny him, and they're full of fear and they want to do anything else but acknowledge this guy they've been following. And yet, as we're going to see in the book of Acts, they encounter the Holy Spirit comes. The church, the early church is started, and just these few chapters later, these same guys who are fearful and running off, abandoning Jesus, it says these guys, they turned the world upside down. And so we're really looking forward to going through this book, to being challenged for what does that look like for us in Worthing? What does it look like for us as Redeemer for people to say that about us, the people who turned Worthing upside down? One of the things we've been doing this term is running a marriage course. We're really grateful for the team that have done that. They've done a fantastic job. Rachel and I were attending the course, and it was brilliant. And so we're just going to hear from a few of those couples now to hear their experience of it.
We'd arrive in this space, and there'll be tables of 2 around the room. You wouldn't know where you were sitting each week.
We sat down first for a meal, which was really nice to sort of acclimatise and come down after putting the kids to bed and stuff, rushing away from the house.
The food on the nights were amazing. The fish pie was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, John still talks about the fish pie.
The atmosphere was very romantic, quiet, nice music in the background.
Yeah.
Just a chance to...
Proper date night.
We would have a different topic each week. We'd watch various videos relating to that topic, and then we'd go back to our seats and discuss it as a couple and come up with plans.
Yeah. And having those topics that we could engage in and sort of ask questions about.
Sort of guidance around.
The kind of provoking conversations that we wouldn't normally have at home.
Yeah.
All about communication.
Resolving conflict.
Yeah, talking to each other, topic of family, how family impacts our relationship.
Week on sex was good, and then finished off with a kind of into the future. How do you keep this going? How do you keep a healthy marriage going?
The kind of conversations we could have together in that time, sitting opposite each other and having really...
Being forced to talk about us rather than the children.
Yeah.
Rather than, I don't know, what happened last week, what shopping we need next week, what we're having for dinner the week after that. It was just us, really investing that time talking about our relationship.
And no matter how long you've been married, it's worth doing it, right? So definitely recommend it.
Everybody who gets married should do this course. Whoever you are, wherever you are. I think it should be part of the marriage deal.
Yeah.
Maybe after 2 years or 3 years or something.
I would do it again as well.
Yeah.
Like in a few years' time, I'd definitely do it again.
100%. Would
Yeah,
really recommend it. I've recommended it to everyone I know so far.
I would do it again.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Can we do it again for a bit longer?
No, absolutely. I think kind of, it strengthens your relationship. I think it brings the best out in both of you talking about those topics.
So I just want to talk about giving in the church, and first of all, the thing to say is to thank you. We're part of an incredibly generous church. We started this year with a budget. Our financial year goes from September to August, and we started with a budget that was a £16,500 shortfall. That was we expected to spend about £16,500 than we were projecting to get. But at the moment, here we are sitting in April, and we're looking like we're on target to meet the expenditure that we had forecast. That giving allows us to run the church, do the things we do together as a family, meeting on a Sunday, paying the staff, the kids' work, the youth work, all that sort of thing. It also allows us to give away during the course of the year, we're giving away a substantial amount of money to things that we are part of here in Worthing and wider. Things like Helen Moore and her team at Yada, Colin, who we had with us last Sunday, and his work with Mobilise Global, we've been able to give into that. There's a group called Brephos, who are a pro-life group. We give to them. We give to Regions Beyond. You'll recognise that the global offering that we had, and information about where that money's gone to will be coming soon. We also gave to the church up in the northeast in Chesler Street, where Ali Scott is based. We managed to give them a couple of £1,000 to support them in their outreach into their town. And also this year, obviously substantially, we've been giving to supporting Rodney and Sue as they're working into Victory Hill in Edinburgh. So it's been a real privilege to be able to do that. So thank you for all the money you've given to enable us to do that together as a church.
I just want to reiterate what Pete said. Thank you so much for your giving. Those of you who do that regularly or just as throughout the year, thank you for your generosity. Thank you for how you do that so sacrificially. We don't take that for granted. We really appreciate that. And it allows us to do all of the things that we have been doing, right? That have been serving us as a church family and been serving the town, but beyond that as well, in the rest of the UK, but also in the nation. So thank you. And I just want to let you know, just for the next few minutes, of some exciting staff changes that are coming up. Like I've already said, we've seen this growth over the last term, like 20% people added in our meetings on a Sunday, and that's kind of been the same thing that's been happening in our kids group. So this time 2 years ago, our 0 to 11s, like our Redeemer kids groups, we had around 30 kids each week coming along to those groups. And now we've got, it's regularly 50 plus. And we've averaged 52 kids over the last term on a Sunday, 0 to 11 years old. And we really want to expand, be able to expand what we're doing. We really want to serve the church family well in this area, especially the kids who are that age and their parents. And we believe the way that we can do that is by bringing on a paid member of staff who can oversee our Redeemer kids. And so a big part of this role will be Sunday mornings and leading the teams. Like I've already said, they've done such a great job, and I've had some input into that. Aaron's been helping organise that, and we've been trying to recruit people. But having a paid member of staff is really going to help us. And I just want to remind you, if you're not involved in the kids' work, or if you've got kids but you don't really engage with what's going on in there, with the guys who are in there every Sunday, we're not just babysitting kids, we're not just keeping them alive while you parents can enjoy what's going on in the auditorium, but we want to raise kids, we want to raise youth who love Jesus and want to grow up building their lives around him. Like, we want to train them in that and model something to them. It's not just babysitting. And so Sunday is a big part of that role, but also we have TOTS on a Monday morning, and Madim McQuenna has been leading that for us for the last year. We're really grateful to her, thank you, Maddie, for all you've done with that. And at Easter time, we had over 60 little kids running around in our auditorium with their parents, getting to hear a bit of the Easter story, as well as eat a load of chocolate and lovely Easter treats. And we really, I mean, this is such a fantastic opportunity for us with barely any church people in there, apart from the team that run it, to talk to people, to pray for people, to expect God to move and see them linked in with what's going on a Sunday or other things that we're running. And so do please be praying for the TOTS parents, the grandparents that come along, and the kids who come to that. But that'll be a big part of thinking, how do we help people move from TOTS into more into the church family. As well as TOTS, we are looking to run some parenting courses. Like we've already heard from the marriage course, we'd love to run some parenting courses to help parents. Like we have opportunity to input into them on a Sunday morning in the kids teams, but really it's parents who are going to be the ones who are equipping and training their children in what it looks like to follow Jesus, what it looks like to love Jesus. And as well as that, we really want to engage with schools. So outside of what goes on here, we would love to be more involved in blessing and serving schools across Worthing, but maybe particularly in the town centre. So I'm really pleased to say that Maddie McDonough is going to be taking on this role. She's going to be leading our Redeemer Kids. And if you're thinking, Joel, we've just employed her to lead the youth work last November, working 2 days a week. There are actually 2 Maddies in the church. And so we've got Maddie McQuenna, who is leading our Redeemer Youth, and it's been 6 months she's been doing that, and it's been great having her as part of the staff team and just having her input in different things. It's been great hearing her preach, and she's doing a great job with the youth. But there's another Maddie, okay? So we've also got a Maddie McDonough, who a lot of you will know, or you'll have seen her. She preached at Christmas. Her and her husband, Aidan, moved here nearly 2 years ago, 18 months ago, from Thailand, having worked in a school there. They've got 2 beautiful kids called Lucy and Benji, and we are just so excited to have her join the staff team. She's going to come on staff in September for 3 days a week. She's going to be great. Since they've joined the church, they've just thrown themselves into what we're doing on Sundays and serving in the kids' work already, in taking on leading a group, in just being part of what's going on. We are really blessed to have her, and she's just going to do a fantastic job with our kids. I'm really excited and full of faith for all that God will do through her, and not just in terms of through our kids, but just as being part of the staff team. It's going to be a fantastic addition. And so obviously I've done that, and I've very quickly told you those things. Obviously, if there are questions, you can come and speak to us. And we're going to be doing a lean-in the coming month where we'll speak to Maddie and you'll get to hear a bit more.
So, with everything that Joel's just said, that's going to cost us some money. As I said earlier, the giving is really great. We're doing fine running business as usual. But in order to expand into new areas, we need to expand our giving. In order to do that, we're taking up a special offering in May. We're going to call it the Above and Beyond offering. It'll be on the 12th and the 19th of May. And I want you to seek God for what your part would be in that. It is a push for us. Business as usual is going fine. Offering is great, as I said earlier, and we want to thank you for your faithfulness in that. But this will be a means for us to push into this new area and really resource it in that way. So I want you to pray. I want you to seek God, see what He's got for you, see how you can play your part in this as we move into this new area.
So it's only 4 months until Gather. Can you believe it? And so far we have 220 people signed up, which is absolutely fantastic. But we are hoping that we're going to get 60, even 80 people more. So can we make 300 people for Gather? That will be much bigger than it was last time. And a Gather is such a great time to be together as a family, to chill out, to get to know one another a bit better. but also be family on a mission as we begin to hear preaching, hear stories, pray and be encouraged, start reaching out to our local communities, start reaching out to the little part of Sussex that we're part of. And obviously we're joining with 2 other churches, with Trinity Church from Littlehampton and with Apex Church on the Isle of Wight, because we're part of a wider family called Regions Beyond. And this year we're getting a number of people from Victory Hill Church in Edinburgh, where I've been helping out in the last couple of months. I'm so pleased that they're going to join us and be part of this family. We're also hoping to be joined by Allard, who's just taken on the leadership of Hope Church in Utrecht in Holland, and he's going to be coming over a few people to see what Gather's all about. So together we form part of a bigger family on a mission as part of Regions Beyond. But then of course we have our international friends joining us, people like Fuzi from Dubai, who will be speaking, who'll be with us. And we have Kim and Smile coming from the Philippines as well, because we're not just a church reaching out to locally or to the UK, we're also reaching out across the nations of the world. In fact, we're called to reach the unreached peoples of the world. And so we have Andy McCulloch, who will be speaking to us, who's from outside of Regions Beyond, but he'll be helping us to get our focus and our gaze on this bigger picture where Jesus is calling us to reach all nations on earth. And we're part of that. And so, in fact, we now have some videos from Kim and Smile from Dubai, and also one from Victory Hill, from Sam Freeman in Victory Hill, who will be joining us at Gather.
Hi everyone, my name is Kim.
And I'm Smile. We're from Grace City Fellowship, the Philippines. Thank you for inviting us.
We are looking forward to see you in Gather 2024. Thank you and God bless.
Hello, Redeemer Church Worthing. My name's Sam Freeman, up here in sunny Scotland, Edinburgh, Victory Hill. I just want to say a massive, massive thank you to you guys for releasing Rodney and Sue and allowing them and letting them come up and serve us. Back in February, March, they were with us for 5 weeks, as I'm sure you all know. And they have invited Victory Hill to come and join you guys down in Gather later in August. So excited to camp out in a big field, campfires, barbecues, tents, worshiping God all together. So excited to meet some of you guys and get to know you a bit more. Very, very, very much looking forward to August, and we will see you guys there.
Although it's only 4 months to go to Gather, it's not too late to book up. If you haven't booked up yet, please do. It's going to be a great time. You're not going to want to miss it. I hope you've enjoyed this family night, which has gone out online on YouTube. It's a different way of doing it. We've enjoyed filming it, and we will be doing this from time to time, although next family night in September, I think that one's going to be in person. If you've got any questions that have arisen from this evening, from anything that myself, Pete or Joel has spoken about, then please do get in contact with us. We're very happy to answer questions. If we haven't explained anything clearly enough, then please do let us know, and we're happy to talk more about that. We're going to have a leadership lean-in quite soon. That again will be online, where we'll be hearing from Maddie, who's coming on board, as we've heard, as our children's worker. And she'll be talking about what has excited her about Redeemer, why she's joining the staff, and it'd be great for you to get to know her if you don't already know her. So look out for that leadership lean-in. And remember the offering, the above and beyond offering that we're having, which will be going towards helping us to fund a children's worker. So do partner with us in that. Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.